That's what I need. As much help as I can get. Hello, welcome to this video. I am very proud again to have who I now consider to be a friend of the channel and a friend of myself, I would say now, if I would be so bold. Mr. Brian TATLER.
Hello.
Heavy metal legend, guitarist with Diamond Head, and of course you are now currently playing with the new wave of British heavy metal legends, Saxon.
Indeed.
And you've been doing a lot of gigs with them recently all over the world?
That's right, yeah. I mean, so far this year we've done, we did a big tour of Europe. We did about 5 weeks in Europe. Then we went to Texas. We've been to Japan and we've been to South America. Plus we've done a couple of festivals in Europe at the June. So we're just on a break at the moment. So I'm able to come and see you.
What's it like getting out on tour like this? After all these years.
Well, it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it.
Did you ever think this would happen? That you'd
Not
be
really.
back doing these?
I always wanted
back out with
it.
Metallica, weren't you? You've done a couple of gigs. Is that right?
We did that festival in Norway called Tons of Rock last year.
Yeah.
We were on the same day.
Yeah.
And so Lars called. Well, in fact, he messaged and said, "Would I be up for, playing Am I Evil with Metallica tonight?" Like that thing at the full version. And of course, I just said, "Yeah, great." Because Saxon had already been on stage, so it was just a case of, okay, well, run through the track with the band and go and do it. Do it in front of like 70,000 people or something. So it was absolutely amazing and such a rush.
I know. I watched it on video. I love it when you come out to the front. It's proper rock. It's heavy metal heaven, that is. Yeah. And of course, Saxon, they did Metallica opened up for Saxon in the old days, didn't they?
That's right. At the Whiskey A Go-Go, I believe. Like 82.
Was that early, was it?
Yeah, it was very early. One of their first gigs, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously, Brian's, he's part of the furniture when it comes to heavy metal, really. So I was interested what he thought were the 10 greatest albums. And so he's gone away and he's kindly brought his 10 favourite albums with him. So not only is he going to go through the list, we're actually going to be able to see some of the actual vinyl. Some of this, I assume, you bought back in the day. Is that right?
Of course, yeah. This is.
So shall we start with number 10?
Album number 10, yeah, Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. This is the, it came in a kind of...
That's a strange cover. It's like an envelope.
It is. It's quite thick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it came like that because there was a poster inside.
Really?
Yes. It's not the swirl.
Well, you haven't got that anymore, have you?
No. Obviously I took it out and put it on the wall.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Not knowing.
It was the four blokes in a forest, if I remember correctly. So I pinned that up on my bedroom wall. I mean, this album's from 71, so I'd have been 11 when this came out.
I think with Sabbath, if you want to pick a great Sabbath album, you can pick anything up to Sabotage, and
I love Sabotage as well. Sabotage would possibly be my number 2.
It's the heaviest one, isn't it?
Do
you think?
Yeah, might be. Yeah, there's some big long songs on that as well. Some quite epic type songs.
So what is it about Masters of Reality that's got you?
Okay.
Yeah, what's so special?
I think it was just certain songs like Children of the Grave, for example, Into the Void, After Forever, Lord of this World, Sweet Leaf. But it's such a powerful album, and it was the first album, and I think the only album they did in C-sharp tuning, the whole guitar down to C-sharp.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when I used to try and play along to it at home, I couldn't work it out, and as soon as you hit one note, you'd think, "Oh, that's not right," and then on to the next note. And I could never work out how to play these songs. It took me years later that I realised you could retune the guitar.
Yeah.
I thought it was standard tuning, and that's it.
And the thing that's interesting with that C-sharp tuning is that it's become like a thing that metal bands do. But I assume that Tony Iommi did it because of the old plastic fingers.
I believe so, yeah, because it was hot. It's easier to bend, isn't it?
Yeah,
when it sounds C-sharp. But then they didn't continue it, so it must have just been, they tried it and experimented on this album. But I think when they got to that album, I think it went back to E flat. Most of the albums are in E flat, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, but this is in C sharp. Yeah,
Well, I didn't know that.
It's great. And yeah, lots of bands have copied it since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it when I was teaching. You'd have these kids coming with these 6-string guitars down at C.
Yeah.
You know, and also they always wanted to play it down there as well.
I know.
So, of course, I have genuinely been shocked and upset with Ozzy passing, especially so close to the Back to the Beginning gig.
Yes, same.
Heavy metal's gone through a whole... It's just strange, as though it's almost like the last chapter in a way, isn't it?
I mean, it was such a big, important rock star, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And heavy metal's such a big community. I think everybody's shocked and upset. Yeah. And we all sort of knew it was coming, but I don't think we expected it to come quite so quickly on the back. And, you know, we all saw him alive a few weeks ago, either streaming or... You know,
what a man to do that performance like that. Unbelievable.
He did great.
I think so. I find it very moving that he wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Genuine bloke. So, obviously, you must have had some interactions with Sabbath over the years. Anything memorable?
So, I first saw Sabbath in 1974. So, my brother took me to see Black Sabbath because he had a spare ticket. I'm 14, and it was the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath tour, Birmingham Odeon. So that was an introduction, and then I saw them again under my own steam in 1978 when they happened to have a band called Van Halen supporting them. Which so again I got to see introduced to Van Halen, and I mean I was loyal to Sabbath, you know, hometown gig for Sabbath. So to me Van Halen were good, but they were a bit young upstarts, a bit brash, a bit, you know, compared to Sabbath, who on album number 8 by this point or something. So, but you know, great to be there. And then in 1983, Diamond Head were offered a tour, a European tour, opening for Black Sabbath, and of course we all got super excited and thought, incredible, you know, one of my all-time favourite bands, and we're going to go out on tour with them. The only thing was, it wasn't Ozzy and it wasn't Billboard.
Which lineup was that?
So it was the Born Again album they were promoting, and it was Ian Gillan on vocals and Bev Bevan.
My old mate, Bev Bevan.
On drums. Yeah, local boy.
Yeah, we discussed this before because you played that famous gig where the Spanish Mafia tried to put a hit on Bev.
Yes.
I don't think they watched my channel. We might be all right.
I think it was we played Barcelona and Madrid, so it might have been...
He said it was in a bull ring.
Yeah, well, that was Barcelona.
Was
it? The first night of the tour, yeah. 10,000 people in a bull ring. Yeah, quite something.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, Sabbath... So I have a connection. My other fantastic connection is I got to write a song with Tony Iommi. In 1992, we were doing an album called Death and Progress, and this guy who knew Iommi's manager phoned and said, "Would you like to write a song with Tony Iommi?" What a weird question. Yes, please. And so I was invited to his house in Solihull, a big mansion, and he invited me in and made a cup of tea.
Sacrificed a goat.
Yes. And I took a cassette with my guitar riffs on, you see, and I thought, I might be a bit out of my depth here. But it was exactly the same. He opened a drawer and pulled out a cassette with his guitar riffs on, and they didn't sound any better than my riffs, really. So we'd play my cassette and he'd say, "Well, I like that one," you know, and then we did the same with his cassette. And I'd go, "Oh, I like that one," you know. And we wrote this song called Starcrossed, which is on the album Death and Progress. But what a fantastic guy, lovely to work with, and he even came to the studio in Birmingham at the music station when we were recording, and did a solo on the track that went on the album. And we split the royalties, 33 and a third each. Sean, myself and Tony, so that was an amazing experience.
That's incredible. Now, a lot of people I know I spoke to who's worked with him said he's actually a very, very good guitar player. They've always said he's I mean, what's he like as a player when you're working with him?
Yeah, fantastic. He's a great player, isn't he?
Yeah,
very
I
creative.
Think he's underrated, as a guitarist.
Yeah, he is. But everybody rates him as a writer, a riff master. You know, you can't argue with that. No. You can't be the, Al Di Meola and Tony Iommi, can you? You have to. You have to kind of either master your instrument or become a songwriter and sell millions and millions of records.
That's true. And Ozzy, did you ever cross paths
Yes,
with Ozzy?
I crossed paths in. When was it? It was at the NEC. I can't remember the tour. I think it was the one with Jakey Lee on guitar. I get mixed up because I also saw him at Monsters of Rock. But anyway, we got invited to go backstage afterwards. We'd probably got guest passes. And I think they said, they'd like to meet you afterwards. And so we went to a big sort of meet and greet place with tables and chairs. And Ozzy appeared and came over to our little table because it was there with Sean and his missus and things. And he spoke to us for like 10, 15 minutes and was charming, and we were really flattered that he'd even noticed us and come over to say hello. So I've got very fond memories, and it was a big shock to hear about his passing just the other day.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah,
We're losing a lot now, aren't we? As the times roll by,
Just the age. But there'll never be another. Right?
There'll never be another Ozzy. Yeah,
unique, brilliant singer.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Though, especially the first 6 Black Sabbath albums for me.
I think when you listen to the first album, he's got actually someone said on my channel, a voice very close to Stevie Winwood. He's lower and a lot more of a belter, and I think he then starts to understand the frequency range of metal, and he goes up into that much higher place. And I said, well, Stevie Winwood could well have been, they were on the same scene in Birmingham in the 1960s.
And Robert Plant was.
Oh, of course they were, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. That's it. So, shall I go into album
we're going to
two?
go to number 9 now.
Oh, yeah, album number 9.
Number 9.
I'm sorry, I'm in reverse order, aren't I?
Yeah, of course we have to do it and then build up the tension.
So this is Van Halen 1984. Now, a lot of people would pick album number 1, wouldn't they? Because it had Eruption on it and Ain't Talking About Love and Running with the Devil, and it's a brilliant album. But I favour this one because there's just some tracks on here like Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher, Drop Dead Legs. So Eddie's playing on this is even more outrageous, I think, than on the first album. So Eruption was a game changer when I first heard it back in '78 in a record shop, Graduate Records in Dudley.
Oh yeah,
and I think I'm there. Dave Ver.
Yeah.
And I'm leafing and somebody puts Eruption on. And I think, what the hell's that? How's he doing that? And you go home and you think, what's he doing? How's he doing that? Because he didn't invent tapping, as it's been said. Like Steve Hackett had already done it. But what he did with that sound, and there's only one guitar on the record, panned over with some sort of reverb on the other side, and that's so hard to do, to just play like that with that kind of fire and passion. And so I was blown away by Eddie's playing from day one. But I've sort of studied him more and more over the past 40 years. And the detail in his rhythm playing blew my mind. Just Hot for Teacher alone is like a masterclass. And how well he interacted with his brother, Alex, the playing between the guitar and drums.
A very underrated rock drummer.
So synced. Yeah. Yes.
That's my favourite Van Halen album.
Right. Okay.
I think it's absolutely incredible. I think a lot of people seem to judge it on the track Jump because of the keyboards. I think it's a masterstroke that Eddie can come out and someone said it the other day, how many musicians have put a massive hit record out where they do the guitar solo and the keyboard solo. Right, it's incredible. Yeah. And the riffs on keyboards showing that Eddie was a riff master, whatever.
Yeah.
But things like House of Pain, it's as dark as Sabbath.
It is.
That riff.
Yeah, it's great. He was a very good riff writer.
Yeah, incredible.
Some of the riffs, I Ain't Talking About Love, is a mighty riff, even though it's just an A minor chord, sort of picked out. But it's beautifully done.
And he doesn't rely on power chords. He does sometimes, but a lot of it is you could hear there's really nice chord voicings.
Unchained. Is a mighty riff. and Fair Warning, not Fair Warning, Mean Streets.
Yeah,
I
off Fair
love,
Warning.
Yeah, Fair Warning's a great album as well.
I'd say Fair Warning has become my second favourite.
Right,
I've just heard Van Halen 1 so much.
Yes.
We all just...
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't pick Van Halen 1 as
Yeah.
well, because I know it inside out. But this is such a brilliant album that's not...
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, because then Sammy Hagar came in, I was never...
Yes,
so
it all
keen on
changed.
never so keen on the Sammy Hagar, better singer than Roth, but...
there was a magic. Sometimes
yeah.
it's the chemistry of the band, isn't it? It's not just the individual talent.
Yeah.
It's how the five guys work together.
I think David Lee Roth is such a brilliant frontman at understanding and entertaining an audience, going almost like to sort of musicals, Al Jolson.
Yeah.
He's got all that in there
Showbiz.
for showbiz, which allowed Van Halen to take musical risks,
Yes.
but still be like one of the biggest rock bands in the world.
Commercial, yeah.
And as people said, in terms of heavy bands on the mainstream, 78 in America, there was nobody. It had all gone, all disco-fied, and then they came out and brought it back. So such an incredible band.
Yes, incredible band, totally
them.
unique.
I love
really,
them.
yeah. Okay, next album
Number 8
is... what have I written down? Yeah, this is it. Donald Fagen, The Nightfly. So it's not an obvious heavy rock album at all. I mean, it's not heavy rock at all.
No,
is
not
it?
at all. No.
Obviously, Donald Fagen's from Steely Dan.
Yeah.
So I love Steely Dan and got into them very early on. I think it was just the perfection of the production that blew me away. The care and craft in the songwriting.
Yeah.
But something about the sound just got to me. And I think this is his best album. I
do too. This is so weird, Brian.
I like Gaucho, I
Yeah.
like Asia, but I think this one's even better than
That's my favourite one.
I've played this album 200 times. It's every single track. So it's a brilliant album.
That album for
IGY,
me, that's
New
that's
Frontiers.
a stereo tester.
Yeah,
If I'm in a
fine.
studio, that's the one. If I want to know what the speakers are like, you play, the opening track
play
on
this.
there.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what it was used for in hi-fi shops, to demonstrate how good the quality of the hi-fi is.
It sounds incredible.
It's clean.
Yeah.
So clean. Yeah. I mean, it would have taken ages to record, and it's all the best session players in the world on some of the guitar playing is outrageous. But it's also a nice album to breathe, to just relax to chill to, rather than get excited about.
But the thing is that the things with things like metal, everyone thinks it's about the riffs, but the thing that sorts the great bands from the okay, it's always the songwriting, isn't it?
It is.
And so, do you find yourself listening to all sorts of different songs to get ideas?
Yes, I think so. Rather than just focus on one particular style. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I listen to all sorts," but I think it's a good idea to take in many different styles, because I think it will all filter through and come out how you see it in a way. I mean, I probably have never got anything from this other than pleasure, of listening. But it's all good. So I would recommend that to anyone.
Yeah, I've done videos where I've
thing.
said Asia's overrated, and it's because it's held up in such high regard. But my point is that one for me is the peak.
Yeah.
And he did an album later on called Kamakariad as well.
Yeah, the album after is
and I really like that. There's a groove on that. And
there's a couple, actually. There's one called Morph the Cat as well, and Underwater Condos. But that's the one.
Yeah, that'll come up without a doubt.
I played it so...
Great covers. They set that
so
up in
many
his living room.
Did they? I didn't know that.
They came around his house and said, we'll have this
trivia.
idea. That's why it doesn't look quite right. No DJ would be set, like that.
Yeah, but he's got the Chesterfield King.
Yeah, brilliant. He looks cool there.
So, number 7.
Yes, number 7.
Moving Pictures by Rush. So, I'm a big Rush fan, but there's a golden period for me that begins really with, I suppose, 2112 and then ends maybe with Signals. So that period, and I got to see them. So this love affair started when they were on the Old Grey Whistle Test, a clip of Rush playing Xanadu, maybe from Canada, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was blown away, and especially an awesome guitar solo at the end. So I thought, oh, that's good. I've got to get that. So I bought Farewell to Kings, and then I saw them on that tour in 1978 at Birmingham Odeon, and they were brilliant. And then I saw them the year after on the Hemispheres tour and bought that album and thought it was brilliant. And then it was Permanent Waves. And then by this point, I think they moved up to the Stafford Bingley Hall. So they're outgrown the Odeon.
Yeah.
Or they might have been doing like 2 nights at the Odeon and things like that. And then came this album, 1981, Moving Pictures. And I just think every track is just brilliant. So Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta.
That's a perfect album, isn't it?
Limelight. Yeah, it's a perfect album.
Every track's just brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Witch Hunt. Yeah, brilliant album. And the production is...
It's just brilliant.
Perfect,
I love it so much. I just think...
Yeah.
I love Rush.
The drums.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
Everything's amazing on it. The cover, with all those that sort of metaphor going on.
Mad.
Everything's amazing about that album.
Yeah. So for me, it's their peak.
Yeah.
It probably, everything was heading towards this album.
And did you ever get to meet those guys?
No, unfortunately, never. Don't know anybody who's anything to do with them. But have you seen the documentary Beyond the Lighted Stage?
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Worth seeing if no one's seen that.
I went backstage at a Rush gig in Montreal, and they weren't there because they just got bussed in and out. But the crew said, they went, we've got a treat for you. And they said, what? They went, go through that door. So I opened that door, it was just black, and I could see these steps going up. Really good. So I walk up these steps, and these steps actually led up to the middle of the stage.
Oh.
In this Montreal, it must have been about 50,000. It was huge. And so I opened the trap door, walked out, and I was right inside Neil Peart's kit.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't play it, but I sat down and went, oh my, and my hair was just...
No, that's a big kit.
When you sat behind, it's not that. He basically plays like a proper one tom there,
right?
And he's got a couple of toms down here. He's got his ride cymbal here. Then he's got a row of toms here. But actually, it's much more of a classic rock drummer's kit as opposed to, say, Mike Portnoy.
You'd have like tubular bells, and things.
And then later on, you had that one that would go around in a circle, and you'd have all the
yeah. But incredible. One of the greatest rock drummers of all time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that album was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And that run of albums. I mean, I love them from the first album. Even I think the first album's a great rock album.
Yes.
Debut.
Yes. But isn't it strange how the lyrics are a bit sort of, generic love songs or whatever. Yeah. And then suddenly when Neil joins, the lyrics go stratospheric. Yeah. And I think he really, really helped the band coming in as a lyric writer, because obviously on that first album it's a little bit and they got a lot of Zeppelin comparisons, didn't they, at first? Because of his range, I think, getting his high range, so it was in the Robert Plant League,
bloody higher.
Possibly, Finding My Way and stuff. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, okay.
Lovely. So we out to, was it 6?
Number 6. Judas Priest.
Oh, no.
So we've got.
This is what I expected you to bring.
Yeah, Sad Wings of Destiny. It's on the Gull label. Now, what the hell is a Gull Records? Have you ever seen another band on Gull Records?
Can I have a look at this? Because
you can.
This one, this is where they find their sound. This is where they invent. This is another stage forward in metal.
Yes. 1975.
75. I got. Sin After Sin, that was my Judas Priest album.
That's great. That's the album after.
Simon Phillips on drums, which is just incredible. Yeah. But the thing about this album, Gull Records, that cover.
Yeah, brilliant
Isn't it
cover.
one of those beautiful covers in rock music?
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
Up there with Stargazer. It's got that sort of... Isn't that beautiful? Did this guy do anything else?
I don't know. Good question.
Because I've never seen that normally. And he's Robert Halford, I've just noticed on the back.
Yeah.
Robert Halford.
Robert. Yeah, and
so
Ian Hill.
What's so special about that one?
Just the
Give
songs.
us a bit of Judas Priest.
So I saw Judas Priest in 1975 supporting Budgie at Birmingham Town Hall, and it was 70p. So that's a bargain. Yeah. And I thought Priest were great, because I didn't know anything by them, but they really impressed me. And then I think I bought The Ripper as a single on Gull Records. And then I bought this album. And the sound of it, the guitar sound, things like, what have we got? Victim of Changes, which they still play today. was a brilliant song, and I think some of these songs definitely influenced Diamond Head in the arrangement ideas and the style. So they were an important band to Diamond Head when we were growing up. You know, obviously Black Sabbath and Zeppelin, but Priest were as well. Island of Domination, I thought was an incredible riff. The Ripper. Tyrant is a fantastic riff. So, and as I say, I don't know what happened to this label, Gull Records, but they must have gone back, bankrupt or something.
They'll be telling us in the comments.
They probably will.
They're more knowledgeable than us on my audience, and tell they know everything. I just amazing, and that's that period through those albums. They're just really brilliant up to British Steel.
Yeah, so I went to see them on Stained Class and then Killing Machine, the Birmingham Odeon, and then later albums like British Steel. But I was there at the gig where they were doing Top of the Pops, and so they didn't turn up for the show. So we're all sat in the balcony.
Were they doing United?
It might have been United. Yeah. I was at that gig.
That's where I discovered Judas Priest, as when they did United on Top of the Pops.
Right.
Yeah, I can remember watching that, and that was like, oh my god.
Right.
Because it's what they look like as well. They look like a metal band.
It was a proper look, that was. And so the support band must have come and gone, and then it was getting late, and I'm thinking, I'm going to miss the bus, because I used to go to Birmingham Odeon on the number 9 from Stourbridge to Birmingham. And then eventually a guy must have come on stage and said, Judas Priest are in London recording Top of the Pops, and they're not going to make it in time. So, you know, 2,000 people groan. And then you keep your ticket and come back when we reschedule the gig, So that's what happened. So maybe 2 weeks later, we went back and watched The Mighty Priest. Anyway, so last year we got to tour with Judas Priest. Fortunately, now I'm in Saxon. We did a big arena tour where it was Judas Priest, Saxon, and Uriah Heep. Yes, and that was fantastic. So we got to do the NEC and Wembley, and we did about 20 dates in all across the UK and Europe.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I got to meet the guys, Rob Halford, Ian Hill, etc. And so the dream come true to actually go out with one of my all-time favourite bands.
And did you ever chat with Russell Gilbrook, the Uriah Heep drummer?
Yes, I did. Yes,
he's a good mate of mine.
Right? Yes,
Russell. Yes. I've mentioned you. I have mentioned you on this. I'll message you. Brilliant drummer.
Well, we did 7 weeks in the States with Uriah Heep, Saxon and Uriah Heep, sometimes swapping round as headline bands. So I got to know Russell quite well, and we go out for meals and things. But I also got to know Richie Faulkner, who is just the nicest guy and such an incredible player.
Yeah, because Russ isn't that nice, is he?
Well, being a guitarist, I was extra.
I'm only joking, mate.
You know, I can imagine you and Russell.
I can imagine Russ could handle himself as well. I don't want to upset him too much.
He probably can. He'd come at you like a bulldog, wouldn't he?
You know he played with Lonnie Donegan?
I didn't.
And that's how he got the gig. Some guys were having a go at Lonnie. Sorry if I get this story wrong, Russell, but from what he told me, he was in the curry house. Someone started to have a go, and he went, "Oh God!"
Wow.
Lonnie Donegan said, "Oh, cheers, mate. What do you? I'm a drummer." And that, Russell can play everything, jazz, skiffle.
Right.
You know, he's
a great player.
Yeah, he's known on the UK scene as one of the great drummers in the UK. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. One thing about Judas Priest I wanted to mention here is, I ended up at a gig with Phil Carson, who signed AC/DC, and he said in the mid-70s you could not sign a band with 2 guitar players.
Oh.
And he said they pushed and pushed, and he said that Atlantic wanted to sign AC/DC, but they wanted to lose Malcolm Young.
No.
Because of...
That's outrageous.
Because Deep Purple, all those bands had 1 guitar player.
But he's the main writer.
I know, and they had to prove it. And I wonder whether Judas Priest had a similar thing, because in the mid-70s, suddenly you have Lizzie, Judas Priest, you got AC/DC, and all those have got 2 guitars, which means you get the guitar solo and the riff, and then 2 riffs together,
And harmony.
Yeah. So I often wonder whether that was a piece of the jigsaw in terms of rock to actually bring it in. I don't know why they didn't want to.
I've never heard that before.
Well, I was told that by Phil Carson, who knows what he's talking about.
Yes, well, if he signed AC/DC...
He did a lot of the industry, he did, yes.
That's a tick in the box, isn't it?
He did,
Yeah.
He was very proud of that. He said it was the most proudest thing he'd ever done in his career.
Going to be hard to top that,
Yeah,
isn't
I know.
it? So this is album number, is it number 5?
Yes.
Yeah, the top 5.
Yes,
So
here we
the
go.
Joshua Tree, obviously, U2, the best U2 album in my opinion. So I think I first noticed U2 again through the TV. They were on the Tube and they were opening for the Police at Gateshead, and they were doing, they did I Will Follow and Out of Control and a couple of tracks, and I thought it was great. I thought, oh, these are good. Got a new sound, I like the singer. And then when Diamond Head were recording Canterbury in London in 1983, A&R man, Charlie Eyre, was friends with U2, and he'd wanted to sign them to his label A&M when he worked at A&M rather, but they ended up signing to Ireland. So anyway, he said, U2 are playing in London tonight, Hammersmith I think. I've got tickets, I've got backstage, not backstage passes, sorry, but I've got passes.
Yeah.
So we all took a night off and went to see U2, and they were fantastic. And I've been a big fan ever since. And then in 1987, when this came out, I loved this album, every track for me. What have we got? Where the Streets Have No Name, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You, Bullet the Blue Sky, Red Hill Mining Town,
Another
etc.
perfect album as far as I'm
Perfect,
concerned.
brilliant
Yeah.
production, great songs. So in 87, they did 3 nights at the NEC, Birmingham, and all 3 nights sold out in lightning speed. I didn't get a ticket. So what I thought I'd do is I used to go to gigs and you'd see a bloke going, buy any spare tickets, you know, a tout outside the gig. And I thought, I know what, I'll do that. So I went and there was a tout, buy any spare tickets. And I went up to him and I said, how much are they? And he said, 100 quid or something. And the face value was 10 quid.
Yeah.
I think I took maybe 50 quid.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to get in. So I thought, right, so I'd move away to a different area and I'd start going, buy any spare tickets. And I did that for about 45 minutes. And then a guy coming from the train said, oh, I've got a spare ticket. And I said, how much do you want for it? He goes, well, 10 quid.
That's what a decent person says, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 quid. Sorted. I'm in the gig. And so I went to the gig. The gig was incredible. They'd open with Where the Streets Have No Name, which is such a brilliant opening song. And so the next night, or whenever it was, I went again. I did the same thing. Buy any spare tickets. And I bought another one. And I went all 3 nights by just being...
But you're a serious U2 fan then,
I
aren't
must
you?
be, aren't I?
To
Yeah.
go all for 3
I
nights.
must be. I went all 3 nights because it was just amazing. It was brilliant. And you remember the film Rattle and Hum? I went to the pictures 4 times.
Really? Brian Tatler's a massive U2.
I am.
He wanted to put that at number 1, but he thought his
No,
reputation.
It's absolutely not number 1. But I am a huge U2 fan, and I've followed them. Tung Baby, and
I ranked the albums. I went through the whole thing. I did a big, because I didn't know that much about them. I knew they were good. Put on the first album, amazing. Second album, amazing. Third album, amazing. And they've got a sound.
Yeah.
But then they don't rest on their laurels. And with
They
that
change,
one,
you're right.
that you could see that the Edge is now listening to like Brian Eno, and he's listening to Robert Fripp and bringing in all this ambient guitar playing. Then they get Brian Eno in. So that's actually it's pop music, but it's combined with a very experimental rock aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then they reinvent themselves again.
Yes.
You know, and then they reinvent themselves
They
again.
do. They kept doing that. It's very brave to
Yeah.
do that and not just keep, preaching to the converted. But
And I think on some of the later albums, in terms of riffs, the Edge can come up with some killer riffs.
Some great riffs.
He's a rock.
He's a brilliant, creative player. Really.
I think so, without a doubt. Yeah.
The use of delays and things like that is nobody's ever really done it before.
No, him and Andy Summers, I think.
Yeah.
Interestingly, there was that gig. I didn't know that. Imagine.
Yeah.
Putting that on now, U2 and the Police.
Yeah,
Together.
there was the Beat as well. I think.
Really?
Somebody. It was like a Gateshead Stadium, I suppose, because of Sting and all that. But Police headline, Synchronicity 2. No, the one before, whatever that was. And I liked the Police. Yes. So I watched it, but U2 were on, and I thought, oh, these are good. So it's interesting how a lot of the bands I discovered, I suppose, would be through Old Grey Whistle Test or Top of the Pops.
Yeah, yeah.
You've almost got to have it shoved down your throat.
That's right,
before I'll even take any notice of them.
And often with music is not the sort of music you normally like. If you see a band live and they sell it to you, that's when and it can open up you liking a whole new style of music, doesn't it?
Well, I think I'd see a clip or something and then buy a ticket. You know, I remember going to see Susie and the Banshees or Psychedelic Furs. I'd just try it. I thought, let's go along and see if I like it. You know, when you're young and you've got some cash, you can do what you like, can't you? Anyway, next one, album number 4, Let There Be Rock. This is not on vinyl, unfortunately. It's on CD. Now, this is a mighty album. The power contained.
I was going to grab my vinyl.
The power contained in this record is electrifying, isn't it? It's feral, isn't it? It's wild album. Every track again for me, even things like Go Down, down. Wow, it's so simple, but it works.
I never know why it does work.
No, I don't.
Let There Be Rock. It's just one chord. And then gap. That's it.
Under the solo, the A bit and then the B bit.
You know what I love about AC/DC as well? Even though it's so basic, they can also be epic.
Yes.
And Let There Be Rock is almost like prog, and you feel like Bon Scott's like a preacher, and it's And then when you listen to Hell's Bells, when that starts up, it feels like a prog track to me. I feel like I've been taken on a journey.
And for those about to rock.
With those,
Seeker,
I so love Ace. More the older I get, I start.
I must have seen them 10, 11 times.
I've never seen them.
I do absolutely love them. So again, this passion started when they were on the Old Grey Whistle Test, a clip of Problem Child, again, probably from Australia or something like that. And I thought, oh, that's good. I like the way they're leaving gaps in the riff, bow, down, instead of just chug, 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 chug or something. And the guitars sounded quite clean. And then, of course, you've got this incredible guitarist called Angus Young, just going up and down the stage and headbanging like a crazy man. And I thought, I'm having that.
Yeah.
And so I went and bought some singles, and then I noticed they were playing the Mayfair Suite in Birmingham in, I think, February 1977. And I thought, right, I'm having a ticket for that. £1.75. So myself and our old drummer Duncan Scott went to that, and they were incredible. There was about 300 people there, and they opened with Let There Be Rock. And of course, Angus is on fire. And there's so much sweat and energy in the room that I've never forgotten it, and I became a diehard AC/DC fan from that moment onwards.
and he's play, even though he's doing all that linking around, going around in circles, the guitar playing's all rock solid.
It's great.
He never nothing's
Great
missed.
play, yeah.
I think he's a genius, that bloke.
It's
Like in Let There Be Rock, when he does his guitar solo, he does a guitar solo, but his second guitar solo is like the history of rock and roll guitar. You know that bit?
That's right, yeah. A bit of Chuck Berry and
that little twiddle he does when it all just stops, and you go, what's going to happen? And then Angus goes, you think, what the hell's that? It's just brilliant.
And I'm off again. Yeah, mighty. And then, so then I saw them on the Power Age tour.
Yeah, another brilliant album.
Birmingham Odeon, brilliant album. So our drummer, Duncan Scott, used to be a cut glass engraver. He worked at Webb Corbett in Stourbridge, a crystal engraver type thing. So he decided, I'm going to make a goblet, a blue goblet, and I'm going to engrave AC/DC into it, and we'll give it to AC/DC when we go to the concert. That was his plan. And
only someone from the Black Country would come up with that sort of a plan.
Yeah.
I know what AC/DC need, a goblet.
A blue glass goblet, right? So we went, and when we got there, of course, there's some security. So Duncan gives the goblet to the security guy and says, can you give this to the band? And he disappeared. And then maybe 20 minutes later, tap on the shoulder, and the security guy said, did you do that glass goblet to Duncan? And he said, yeah. And he said, the band would like to meet you. And so, okay. And then I'm tagging along behind, joint effort.
I polished it.
So yeah, we led us into this hallowed ground backstage and opens the door. There's all 5 members of
This
ACDC.
is with Bon Scott as well.
This is where this comes in. That's with all 5 members of ACDC. Look, Power Age, Angus, Cliff, Phil Rudd, Bon Scott, and Malcolm Young upside down. But yeah, we got a bit of paper and said, can we have your autographs and all that? And I remember them offering us a drink, and we had a bottle of Coke or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic moment that I'll never forget. Got to meet all members of ACDC. And
Malcolm's done his in the Australian
hemisphere.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Malcolm's is. I mean, we'll
What's he thinking?
I'll stick this on mine. There you go. Look at that. I've got to be honest. I'm slightly choked up seeing Bond's signature and imagine the guy.
Well, I've kept that bit of
that.
paper since 1978. You know, so it's
God,
fantastic.
That's incredible. And they were nice guys, were they?
They were fantastic. All really.
Were they leery or just?
No, they were lovely.
Respectful and
all lovely, and just happy that we'd made this goblet, or rather, Duncan
they've still
had.
got it?
Well, funnily enough, we then got to support ACDC 2 years later on the end of the Highway to Hell tour in January 1980. We did 2 dates with ACDC. We did Southampton Gormont and Newcastle Mayfair. And so again, we met ACDC. And Duncan said, do you remember that glass goblet I gave you back in? And Cliff Williams, the bass player, said, oh yeah, that's on my mum's telly. I've still got it. It's on my mum's
you think
telly.
you still got it now?
I don't know.
Oh, where's that goblet?
Where's the goblet? But yeah, that was something else.
Have you got a problem with the old camera? Has mine run out of
storage?
Yeah, I knew that would happen.
Okay,
So, don't worry.
we're good.
Did it? So we didn't get that shot on. I'll take a photograph at the end.
Okay, all right, edit it in.
Yeah, don't worry about
Okay.
it.
So yeah, there it is. I think that's ACDC covered, and that's it.
In search of the ACDC goblet, I can see a film going on here. Louis Theroux needs to do that one.
Louis Theroux.
Yeah,
all right.
Needs to go to Australia to try and find your goblet. Take you with you, and Duncan.
Yeah, and Duncan.
Yeah.
the creator.
The creator of it. Did he do a good job with the old
Oh, it's
engraving?
fantastic. It was perfect. It looked brilliant. Their logo. I mean, it's a great logo
Yeah, it is a great
that they've
logo.
kept forever.
I could have done that. I'd done that on my every exercise book in 1981. I
Yeah,
think I've got
same.
it down. I
And
didn't
Miss
have to look
Satchel.
at it anymore.
Yeah.
I could do it now.
Yes, and I had the Yes logo as well, which
That
is a
was
bit
always
more
a good one. Saxon was
squiggly.
a bloody hardest.
Right.
That S in Saxon that was the axis.
Yeah.
That was the bloody
It's a tricky
hard.
one.
I nailed that perfect. I was into my eye. Every logo. No, I couldn't trace them. You got to do them.
Yeah, freehand.
Yeah.
Okay, so album number 3 is Deep Purple Machine Head. This is partly responsible for why I'm a guitarist, I think, because my brother started me off. He bought an electric guitar after going to see Black Sabbath on the Master of Reality tour in '71. So he bought an electric guitar, and he would try and encourage me to learn. And I wasn't bothered at first. I thought it was too difficult. The usual story, my fingers are hurting and I want to play. But eventually, I got this album. This is the second album I ever bought. And after listening to things like Highway Star and Pictures of Home, I just thought, I want to play the guitar. I'm going to actually learn. I'm going to put the effort in, have the patience to play every day. And, I wish I'd had lessons maybe, or I wish I knew what the modes were and how to do exercise and things. But you just learn bit by bit. And so I probably learned Smoke on the Water and the easy things. But I always wanted to play this guitar solo in Highway Star because it's a magnificent guitar solo, one of the greatest rock guitar solos of all time. And I couldn't do it, but at least that inspired me to practice. So I probably, idolised Ritchie Blackmore and thought I'd like to do that. That's what I'd like to do. It was sort of almost a eureka moment when I was maybe 14, late 14. And I thought, right, that's it, I'm going to practice. So, of course, it's an important album to me, as well as it's a great album. My favourite Purple album, and every track is brilliant. It's got Lazy on it. And,
Yeah, I love Lazy.
you know, it's a brilliant album. So I never got to meet any. Oh, I did. I met Don Airy, who's in Deep Purple now.
Yeah.
But I never met Blackmore. I'd like to have met Richie Blackmore.
I met Roger Glover.
I didn't. Okay.
When I was playing with Old Planty, he came to one of the gigs, and it was at the Cambridge Folk Festival, because he's a folk musician originally.
Right.
Roger. And so I sat with him for about an hour, and all I asked him about was Made in Japan.
Right.
Which for me eclipses that. I have to be honest.
Okay.
A lot of the tracks, because I heard Made in Japan first, so you hear those live versions.
Yeah.
And then that. So when I eventually got this album, I was like, yeah, it's not quite really live. Oh,
It's got the lyric sheet.
wow.
Purple Records, wasn't it? Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, I bought this in, I don't know, 73.
Is that the original one? Because
Yeah.
it's in ever so good condition.
Yeah, it's the original one.
This is like over 50
I played
years
it.
old.
I
Am
played
looking
it
at
a
the
lot.
label?
Yeah, Purple Records
Wow.
with the. It's the original one. With Roger Glover's bass on the
Yeah.
back.
The
Machine
production's
Heads?
great on that as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think up until then, the
it Martin
engineers
Birch?
but they hadn't quite caught. I mean, I love In Rock, but it's very dirty.
I like In Rock as
It's
well.
my favourite studio album.
It's got Child in Time on, which
Yeah.
again is a magnificent guitar solo.
It is.
Blackmore's on fire. Yeah, I love Blackmore.
I
And
love the Lift of Bloodsucker as well.
yes, and I like No No No.
Yeah,
Is that on Fireball?
yeah.
Anyway.
Fireball's great.
Yeah. So I only saw Purple really at that Nebworth show. By the time I got into Purple, Ian Gillan had left, like 74 or something.
Yeah, he was in Black Sabbath doing that tour.
He was. Yeah. And so I saw him at Nebworth when they
Yeah.
reformed in 85, something like that. But I can remember it rained all day. And I got there at about 12 o'clock or something, and we were standing all day because you normally can sit down on the grass,
Yeah.
and you couldn't sit down because your arse gets soaking wet. And I stood all day, and come 8 o'clock, my back's killing me, and it was slightly, not as good as I thought it was going to be. But I did see them later when they did the NEC, but I think the classic time to see them would have been like 72 or 71 or something, when before Made in Japan.
I wonder when they came back in the 80s that all that sort of long improvisational madness that they were doing, whether they curbed that a little bit. Was that the case? Whereas, because that was what I loved about Deep Purple, was like they go to Mandrake route or space trucking. And
brilliant.
You're off.
All 5 players were just totally brilliant.
Yeah.
And but the California Jam.
Incredible.
I've
With
watched that
Coverdale.
over and over and over again. Yeah, that's brilliant. And I like Perfect Strangers.
The only thing I don't like about Deep Purple is this.
Oh yeah,
That's somebody woodpecker.
that's Glenn Hughes. Showing off his incredible range.
He has got an incredible range. He sounds amazing at the moment. I heard his last
Yeah,
record.
can still sing anything.
What a singer.
Yeah, he's very lucky. A lot of singers lose.
Yeah, but
Over
I think what's
time.
happened is he's dropped down a bit, but it's improved.
Yeah,
You know.
he's great with Black Country Communion.
Yeah, he is. I thought he was brilliant.
Okay, next. The second greatest album of all time for me is, of course, needs no introduction.
No.
Probably sold 50 million copies.
Yeah.
And
I think it's more than that.
yeah,
Maybe about 30 or 40. I would
yeah.
say.
This is again my original copy. And
We aren't even saying it. When you get to this point, you don't even say who it is. We're not even going to say who it is.
if you don't know what that is,
You don't know what that is.
You're watching the wrong channel.
Yeah,
aren't you?
go over Rick Beato.
Do you remember it used to have 2 posters and 2 stickers?
I had those and the stickers.
And of course I'd put them on the ceiling or on the wall or something. With
It was
them.
blue pyramids, wasn't
Pyramids.
it? And then with shots of the band.
Yes, live shots.
And then there was these like stickers, which I actually stuck on my drum kit.
Right.
So, a couple of years later when I wanted to do a gig, so I probably had to scrape them
Yeah.
off because I didn't want them on there.
I can't remember what I did with the stickers, but yeah, they were long gone. It's
Yeah.
73, isn't it? So, but this is a brilliant headphones album. And I used to, just zone out and listen to the whole thing. I mean, it's all sequenced, so there's no gaps. Is there
it's
each
beautiful.
track? Yeah, it's a piece of art.
It's just
a
one
work
of the
of
great
art.
albums.
Yeah, one of the greatest albums of all time. And I think my favourite track is Us and Them. And I mean, that's just an amazing song for me. with the sax all over it, and then Time, I think, and they're
Well,
probably
I'll tell you something.
my two favourite songs.
I've got young Cam is overseeing the production and filming of this over there. He's doing a brilliant job. Got proper cameras. We've got proper lights and everything. Cam's there quite. Cam, have you ever heard Dark Side of the Moon? Have you ever sat down with a pair of headphones and listened to that album?
No.
Oh,
No. Well, I
what's
think
that?
you should get.
We've
Cam.
got a treat. You've got a treat.
I'll go and listen to that. Sit down, and then when I next see you, I might film you and see what your response is. Because the amount of people that don't
Yeah.
like prog, that aren't necessarily rock fans, and they don't know about that album,
yeah.
and if they sit down and listen to it, it changes people's lives, doesn't
Yeah.
it? That one.
Yes, it's you can't deny it.
No,
There's something
such
about
a
it.
powerful
I mean, it's
album.
easy listening. There's nothing
Yeah, there's nothing-
particularly crazy in
No.
there. But it's amazing that it's album number 7 as well by Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And
They took that.
nowadays, I don't think a record label would keep
No.
a band for 7 albums, waiting for the big payoff. Some of their albums, like Obscured by Clouds and maybe Atom Heart Mother, might not have sold that
No.
well. I don't know exactly. But of course, nothing compared to this. So this is when the record label must have thought, oh my God, you know, they...
The thing about Pink Floyd is when they got signed, they had Sid Barrett. And
Yeah.
Sid Barrett is like the best thing ever. He's good looking, brilliant songwriter.
Yes.
The next stage after the Beatles, he's got it all of it, and then he's gone.
Yes.
And really, they had to negotiate that because I think the guys, Dave Gilmour, Roger Waters, what shall we do? So you got different guys singing now, different
Yes.
guys writing songs, and I think it took them a while to get that dynamic between
Yeah.
Gilmour.
I suppose
with-
they were a bit pop at first as
Yeah.
well. They were releasing singles, and then they decided we can't do singles.
No.
They release a few, and they weren't particularly hits anymore. So they must have worked out. We'll do long songs. We'll do epic type kind of psychedelic.
And they did a number of
masterpieces.
film soundtracks as
They
well,
did.
which people never
They did.
mention, which enabled them to do like electronic experimentation.
And then Medal
Yeah.
was great, and then eventually they hit it
Yeah.
with this.
And I
the-
think there's a sweet spot where the dynamic between Roger Waters and David
Yeah.
Gilmour is just magical.
Yes.
You know how many bands have that
Yeah.
sweet spot because they're different, and of course they don't get on. So you get that period where they're working together,
Yeah.
and then it just fractures.
But it's when it's working
Yeah.
this well, it's perfect. And Roger Waters' lyrics, they're very simple songs, aren't they?
Yeah.
We all know these chords: G, C, A minor, E minor. But the way they put them together, and the lyric, and the tunes, and it's just a masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
So what's number one then?
Number one is Physical Graffiti,
By Led
the
Zeppelin.
greatest album of all time, and by the greatest band of all
Yeah,
time.
I definitely give you that. The greatest band of all time.
The greatest band of all time. And it also contains my favourite song of all time, which is Kashmir. So it don't get any better than this for me. And this is my original copy from, I don't know, 75, 76. On Swan Song. It's on Swan Song, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I don't think it was the first one, but
And I played it, so many times. But, I only saw them once at Nebworth, me and 200,000 other people.
you were at the Mighty.
I was
with
at
Chaz and
Nebworth.
Dave
I think I
supporting.
was on the one without the New Barbarians. Yeah, Chaz and Dave opened, I believe, and there was Fairport Convention.
Yeah. And they blew him off the stage, didn't they, Chaz
Utopia.
and Dave? Led Zeppelin couldn't go on after that, could they? After a bit of Rabbit.
Baddy, yep.
I love Chaz and Dave.
Yeah, great fun. But yeah, this album, it's got obviously Kashmir's on here, but things like In the Light and Night Flight and Custard Pie, The Rover, Houses of the Holy, Trampled Underfoot. So many great songs. 10 years gone. So it's just a brilliant album, and I can play it any time and enjoy it.
I absolutely love it. It's not my favourite Zepp album, but I do love it very much.
I love Zepp 2. Zepp 2 was the first album I ever bought.
Mine, yeah.
But I grew to love this one more.
It's 4 for me. It's the
Right,
one that I
that's
think
fair
is-
enough.
That's like a perfect album, like Moving Pictures.
Yes, it is. It is great. But I'm still,
Yeah,
this is the
yeah.
one. I think partly because Kashmir's on here, and I just think that's so important.
Yeah, that's got that is so sublime, that track. I remember asking Robert about this, and it's like they're at the peak of their powers, but they were tired, so they got to take some time off. They have this idea of doing this double album.
Yes.
And John Paul Jones left the band.
Oh.
He actually left the band, and they didn't know what to do, so they rock up in the studio. They've got some old tracks that didn't make the albums, and they start jamming, and a lot of it is simply Bonham and Jimmy Page, and so that's what you hear with that, all that, as you can hear, and then they manage to coax. It's going wrong, this, isn't it? I'll have some editing to do.
Okay, bit of work.
Tell me when you're back on, manage.
Catch up.
For now, we're back on.
Yeah, they managed to coax John Paul Jones back, and he put his bass lines down. Some of it was all done in the room together. You can tell, like in My Time of Dying, although the guitar's so very overdubbed. I asked Robert a lot about this one because I found it so fascinating. But when they were stuck and they didn't know what to do, and they got everything set up in this place, they started playing Elvis Presley songs.
Oh, okay.
And he played me these recordings. And it was amazing.
Oh, wow, still got them.
Led Zeppelin with that sound, that sort of trap,
Yeah.
That
drum sound, yeah.
Yeah, doing, it's absolutely incredible.
Fantastic,
Yeah. Great album.
Yeah, that's it.
So those are the greatest albums ever made.
They are.
If you're Brian Tatler.
Yes.
And that counts for something, I would say. I think that means they are the greatest albums ever made by anybody. And anyone who argues it now, they're not going to argue with Brian. They're not going to argue with you.
It's funny how everyone would pick a different top 10 and no two people would agree. I don't think. We'd all pick different albums all over the world.
But when I was 11, 12 and I heard Am I Evil, back then, couldn't get your albums too hard to get old for me when I was 12 years old. But when I heard that, I loved it. And then you come here, and every single one of those I absolutely love.
Fantastic.
Absolutely love. What don't I own out of those? I haven't got Sad Wings of Destiny, which is my fault because I like that album. I've never got a copy of that. But I think every other one I own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So
similar taste.
Similar taste, yes. A
Yes.
similar interest, similar taste.
Yeah. Okay.
A love of the epic.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, definitely love of the epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Diamond Head always tried to, be epic at times. We'd try and write great big long songs because we just liked, it's there in our taste. And, from Zeppelin, Purple, Sabbath, they're all massive long songs. So
Absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad you popped over.
Thank you for having me.
I hope I can think of another reason to bring you over again. I like it when Brian comes. Okay. I'm thinking of doing a live stream actually, where we can have a chat to some of the punters. Would you be up for something like that?
Like a Q&A?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd have to set it up. We'd have to have someone reading out the things. We'd have a chat, and then people would ask you questions. Cam would help me with that, wouldn't you, Cam?
What's the biggest?
Always stressful,
I've got a
isn't it?
setup where you can actually use phones to live stream and have like 2 to 3 phones.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
So you can.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything. But we like it. A lot has gone wrong on this one, but it hasn't stopped us having a nice chat.
Had a lovely time.
We've got something's been photographing us, so that's all you need.
Yeah, I know, and you got to see AC/DC's autograph.
I did. I'm so proud, and I can't believe you've given me this. So that's what I don't know where I'm going to put it. I'm not. Thank you all. See you on the next video. Like, subscribe, and support Brian. I don't know how.
Well, come and see Saxon at Wolverhampton Civic Hall or the Halls in November.
Can I come to that?
Of course.
Could I come back and do a bit of a little bit of a YouTube video?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I won't bother Biff. Don't worry about. I won't be forward. Yeah.
Powers that be, because I'm the new boy. Don't.
Yeah.
Be throwing my weight around, but.
Yeah. Well. I don't want to put shade on Saxon, but I did the same thing. Sting brought me back the other day, and I went backstage with Sting, and I didn't actually want to impose on Sting, so I had a couple of photos. That's all I had. But what I did is I went, sort of filmed some of the gig, and then I came home and gave my experience. So we can do it without me like sticking a camera up their noses.
I don't think it would hurt. We spend a lot of time hanging around before we go on, so
yeah,
could fill in half an hour, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or catering.
Yeah. I might see if I could come up with a concept. Anyway, I'm chatting about other videos in front of you all.
Yeah.
So we're all done. Go by. You can switch them off now, Cam.